Coach, after day one of minicamp on Tuesday, what were you able to take away from that and where the offense is, being that you are able to do just a little bit more?
I think we're in a good spot with, it's day one of minicamp, but we've had a few weeks here, to kind of install with a bunch of really good young players and kind of reinstall with some of the guys that are back. And no matter who you are, obviously, as you continue to grow with an offense or anything you do, you get a little better. So the guys that have been here, look at Chooks, who's been here for a few years still, to kind of get back to the fundamentals. So I thought yesterday we were pretty crisp, pretty clean as far as the things we wanted to do. I was happy with the way we worked.
Just watching, I kind of felt the energy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think we got a great energy right now. I think, again, there's excitement around. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about the quarterbacks, and that's the fun story. But I think every guy is competing for their role. I mean, there's linemen who want to battle and be a starter. There's wideouts who want to touch the ball more. There's backs trying to find their niche. So I think each position is, got good energy because they all want to play.
We know the pecking order. We know it's going to be a process. You guys aren't naming, the week one starter today before training camp. But what is going to be the #1 factor on who that guy is?
I think it'd be tough to single it down to one, but obviously, what makes a great quarterback is his ability to take care of the football, his ability to make plays, and yes, Coach Tomlin talks about those weighty situations, right? 3rd down, red zone, 2-minute. So we'll continue to do that, but obviously their understanding of the offense, their ability to anticipate, be accurate, and then obviously to lead our offense. So that was way more than one, but I think all those things, it will be a collective grade on those points that shows us who rises to the top, and we feel really good about going through the process that we will through camp, that will happen, and it'll be a real clear picture for us by the time we open up.
You mentioned other position battles, the offensive line very different than what you had last year.
Sure.
How are those guys doing in terms of, being the guys that are going to be protecting whoever said quarterback is?
They're doing a great job. I think this is, Coach talks about football like not football this time of year, and the offensive line probably has the biggest issue with that, and the D-line, but on our side of the O-line, because there's no pads. I blocked him, okay, it's hard. So they're really getting a lot of work on fundamentals, which is always the most important thing to do. But I like the way the group's working together. Their communication is probably the thing we can gauge the most right now, their ability to be on the same page, to be identifying things together. So far so good, it's been great. Obviously when we get to camp, get a little bit more, true picture of where we're at.
In terms of Coach Frisman, somebody you've had a chance to work with, what's it like doing it now at this level, and is it maybe an advantage for him that he has worked with you in the past?
I don't know if it's an advantage for him or not, but it's fun to be back with Frizz. Obviously, it's a guy that, actually I was around coaching him. That's how old I am. So I was coaching him at Northern Illinois way back, and then obviously we worked together at State. So it's great to have him back, but I think that personal part aside, Frizz is such a good coach, and I think that room is really, they're embracing him, and they're both getting to know each other. He's getting to know the wideouts, what they need, their quirks and those things, and vice versa. So it's been a fun process to watch.
George Pickens and some of the other guys talking about just moving around so much. Is that what you want to see when the offense is there week one, or is it just, figuring out what guys are good at this point?
Probably a little bit of both. Obviously, you don't want to go out there and just be standing where everybody knows where each receiver is all the time. With the talent we have on the outside, when you go through the list of players, we've got a lot of talent. We don't want everybody to just zero in on, hey, he's always going to be right here. But at the same token, as you mentioned, a lot of this right now, we're installing an offense. We're seeing who can do this, who can do that. Certainly our job is to put players in the best position to make plays, and by doing that, you do what they do the best, and who does this. So we're not going to ask a guy whose skill set might not be the best to run this route to do that. So a little bit of both.
All right, lastly, tight ends, probably not something you've had to talk about with the media a lot, but what are you seeing from that group, especially that year 2 jump for Freiermuth?
I think that's a great group for us right now. Fredo's doing a great job with those guys, as he always does, and I think, you start with Gentry and his leadership, a guy who's certainly a Steeler and been here and kind of worked his way to becoming a starter, and I think that's really, really, what we want, what our organization is about. And then you talk about Freiermuth and what he's, the year 1 to year 2 jump, he's certainly worked hard physically, mentally, understands everything better. But he's got, to be better than he was last year, he's got a lot to do. Obviously, he was a highly productive player for us. So that room's really doing a good job, and enjoying watching him play.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.